Welcome back. There is a live look outside from the Oregon coast, our Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Recovering from cancer takes its toll on your body, but this type of diagnosis can also have lasting emotional effects long after the doctor declares you cancer-free. Here to share more about that, we welcome breast cancer survivor Adriana McCulloch. It's so great to see you.
Thanks for having me back.
You actually coach people through this process, even beyond finding out you're cancer-free, which is so incredible.
Yes,
but
yes,
life goes on, and it can be really hard.
Yes, yes, it's very active. Once you're out of active treatment is sometimes the hardest for a lot of people.
Yeah, beginning with the mental health aspect of it, that people may be surprised by how challenging it can be.
Absolutely. There's nothing like cancer to teach you that your mental health is just as important as your physical health. We are so focused when we're in active treatment on, of course, beating the cancer and becoming healthy again, and as we should be, but our mental health takes a back seat. And yeah, a lot of people are surprised by kind of the mental load that can come with it, especially kind of when you're out of fight or flight. You know, your body finally is able to relax a little bit, and then this wave of emotion comes in. And you know, life is hard to enjoy. Even if you're physically feeling okay, if you're not mentally feeling okay, it can be a real struggle.
So much to navigate in that time. And a lot of people are going back to work, maybe for the first time in a while, and that can be not as easy as they thought that would be either.
Yeah, that's actually something that people don't talk about a lot, is the return to work. And you know, going through something like cancer, it does alter us physically and emotionally, and companies are just not prepared. They just don't have the tools necessarily to help someone navigate this tricky time. And I've actually started working with some local HR departments to try and kind of bridge that gap a little bit, just to give some more tools for better communication, better support, so everyone feels happier in the workplace.
Because sometimes it feels like a situation where you've got to be your own advocate, but that can feel risky at times.
Yeah, and a lot of people get tired of being their own advocates, to be quite frank. They burn out on self-advocacy. It's extremely important, but it's hard to do over and over. So sometimes people just kind of go, oh, it's fine, whatever, you know. And again, just the communication, I think, because everyone's different. So everyone and their needs are different. How they want to be treated is different. So communication, even with your employer and the staff, is really important. You
touched on this earlier, but just the intense, emotional, maybe even chaotic feelings that you can have can just kind of hit you maybe out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm always like, I don't mean to sound dramatic, but we can kind of be left in this emotional shambles, you know, and it's so valid and so understandable. The hard thing is when it does come out of nowhere or we're not prepared for it, so many people don't know where to turn. You talked about the self-advocacy piece. That's perfect, because sometimes we just like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know if I should be feeling bad because I'm alive and I made it, and I shouldn't have these negative emotions and stressors. So it's just really important to know how to keep looking and how to keep finding to navigate through those, because it's totally possible. And again, that's why I started doing this work, is to kind of try and bridge that gap a little bit as much as possible, because there are solutions and there's help out there. For sure.
Well, and what about just really in simple terms, not feeling like yourself? You've gone through maybe a big physical change, but emotionally as well, that just seems like a lot to take in.
Yeah, I mean, going through something like cancer definitely changes you physically and emotionally. And for a lot of us, we want to get back to who we used to be, because that was our normal. That was our base of normal. So we focus so hard on, well, I just want to be back to her. I want to be back to him, you know. And while I understand that, it's, you know, a lot of the new things that you learned, the new things that, you know, if you can maybe look at it with curiosity and love, and to not shut the new part out too sometimes, and kind of have a meld rather than going back to who I was.
Sure. Well, and it seems like there's a big transition in not being surrounded by support people all the time. When you're in active treatment, you've always got people checking on you, and then, look, you're all better, have a nice life, kind of. It can feel like that.
Yeah, I always say, just because, you know, you got your hair back doesn't mean you're not having a hard time, you know. It's just totally understandable, once again, for your support people. You know, none of this is like pointing fingers, but it can be very hard. You start to kind of look healthy again. You start to kind of look, you know, how you used to look, and people are like, cool, you know, see ya. And people are left feeling we still need support, and they're left feeling alone and scared. So I always say, just good to recognize as a cancer patient, as a cancer survivor, and that way you can be a little bit more vocal about asking for the support.
Totally. And then help the next person that comes after you. If you have a loved one going through something similar, you can be so helpful in that
if you've been through it, for sure.
What about your own circle of friends and how that group might change.
Yeah, that can change a lot. You hear a lot in the cancer community that, like, you know, people are like, well, I know who's my real friend and not, but it's always very complicated. Sometimes it really is as simple as that. People don't know how to handle cancer.
Yeah.
Pardon me. People always know how to handle cancer, and it is a lot to take in. So sometimes your circle of friends do change, but the plus is you can gain a lot of amazing new friends, especially in the community. You will bond quicker than you've ever bonded with anybody that has gone through cancer like you have. And there are a lot of us out there, unfortunately, but fortunately you're not alone.
That's true.
And you will bond overnight, and they will be some of the closest friends you've ever had. So there is kind of a silver lining to that. And you know, friends come and go in our lives regardless. Sometimes it just maybe fast-paced a little bit.
And the ones that stick with you, you guys are just even more bonded than before. And that changes your relationship in a beautiful way.
Absolutely, yeah, it can deepen, and also the lessons that you learn can be shared too, because you learn a lot through cancer, and if your friends have gone through it with you, there's a lot to be learned there, and a lot to appreciate, and a lot of gratitude, just new ways of looking at things.
There you go. All really great stuff. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
Great to see you.
It was good to see you.
We will have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.